今、有罪答弁を終えた水原被告が裁判所から出てきました。水原さんのお声を聞きたいっていうファンの皆さん。
We saw earlier this morning the defendant in this case, Mr. Mitsuhara, went before a judge and admitted his guilt in this case. As we told all of you a couple of months ago, this case was thoroughly investigated, thoroughly vetted, and we came to the conclusion, based on the evidence, that Mr. Mitsuhara had committed a massive fraud, and that fraud was committed against the one victim in this case, who is Shohei Ohtani. In fact, after we announced the charges, we only discovered more fraud in this case. We discovered Mr. Mitsuhara had victimized Mr. Ohtani to the extent that he wouldn't even pay for dental fees. He stole money from Mr. Ohtani to pay for his own dental expenses. The fraud was deep and the fraud was extensive. Well, now you've seen Mr. Mitsuhara has gone before a federal judge. He's stated under oath that he was fully responsible for this fraud. He's accepted his responsibility. He's admitted to his guilt, and we will proceed to sentencing in this case and finally bring vindication to the victim, but also the larger community that demands we address these types of fraud cases aggressively and with justice in mind. Because of this rampant fraud, my office has established something known as the Vulnerable Victims Task Force. That is tasked with looking at fraud against older adults, against immigrant groups. I will say Mr. Ohtani is an immigrant, came to this country, is not familiar with the ways of this country, and therefore was easily prey to someone who is more familiar with our financial systems and was able to take advantage of Mr. Ohtani.